Okay, we're here with Mark Dismore. Mark, you built a track up here just about an hour from Indianapolis. What caused you to build a go-kart track? Why did you want to do that?
Well, I mean, the reason I wanted to do it, I love the sport, and I know it probably made me a better person in life, being around the people in the sport that are primarily all great people. It's obviously always been our family business anyway. The sport, in the past, the karts had actually outgrown the tracks that were around here for sure. I mean, the karts have gotten faster and wider and physically just bigger, and really didn't have anywhere to take the karts and enjoy them. So I wanted to provide a facility where families can come out with their karts, enjoy their sport, enjoy their family, and just basically, you know, promote the sport. I mean, it's a wonderful sport, and I just felt like it was time for somebody to step up and do it, and I kept waiting for someone to do it. It apparently wasn't going to happen, so I guess I'm the victim.
So you, in about what year was it? 2000 what that you built Newcastle here?
We broke ground in the winter of 2003, and we opened April the 1st of 2004, although we were still doing quite a bit of construction, but since April of 2004.
Okay. Now, you have, how many different configurations do you have here at the track?
Well, we've added and added and added, and currently we're up to about 42 different configurations. You can run forwards, backwards, obviously. You can do a combination of both, but we're at about 42 different combinations, so it keeps you from being bored.
And you have one straightaway. It's got a little kink in it, but that straightaway is 1,100 feet, is that right?
It's between 1,000 and 1,100, yeah. The shifter carts get up over 90 mile an hour. The tag carts run 80, 83 mile an hour.
Okay. We were talking a few minutes ago. It's a really compelling story about how your dad got into the business and how he built Comet Kart Sales. Would you tell us what caused him, what got him interested in go-karts?
Yeah, it's pretty ironic, honestly. It's like basically in 1959, my dad was a local drag racer. I mean, he just did it for enjoyment. It was a hobby. He loved automobiles like most people. And so he just raced locally, and he had a welder, and he was, at the time, apparently one of the few people in Hancock County that had a welder.
Right.
There was a guy found him, heard through the grapevine that Diz had a welder. So the guy looks up my dad one day at home and knocks on his door and said, "Hey, I got something. I was wondering if you'd weld it for me." And my dad, "Sure, I'll weld it for you." So the guy gets it out of his truck. Dad took a look at it. It was a go-kart. Dad welded it for the guy. My dad said, "What is that?" And the guy said, "It's a go-kart." My dad said, "I've never heard of that." So they got all done with it. And back then, Greenfield was like Mayberry, so there wasn't a lot of police and wasn't a lot of laws or rules or anything. So Dad asked the guy if he could take it around the streets for a while or whatever. So Dad took a ride on the thing. And
this was 1959?
1959.
Right.
And Dad never drag raced again. He built a go-kart. And the funny thing is, he built that go-kart. The first go-kart he built it out of plumber pipe.
Right.
The black plumber pipe. I mean, this thing weighed as much as 2 shifter carts do today. And it was funny, and he had a little Clinton engine on it.
Sure.
Probably could outrun it with a bicycle, but from there on, obviously, what the sport's become today. But you know, I mean, that was the first kart my dad ever built, first kart my dad ever saw. Complete accident. He's made a living from it. Obviously, Dad passed away in October of 2003, but he didn't get to see this place in its completion, which breaks my heart. But and then Comet Kart Sales got its name from a place in Richmond, Indiana, which is about 30 minutes from here, called Comet Industries. They made torque converters, clutches, and they made go-karts called Comet Karts.
Right.
So Dad did an agreement with them, became a dealer for Comet Karts, so that's how Comet Kart Sales got its name.
And he did that. I think you told me he started in the garage, then he built out the breezeway, and then at some point he was in the living room with your mom saying, "You got to get something else going." Yeah,
he started with literally a little 12 by 12, 15 by 10 garage. Then he turned a carport, he bricked it in, turned it into somewhat of a garage. And then he ended up building a 25 by 30 two-car garage in the backyard. And I mean, he had go-kart parts everywhere. And finally, he worked at Western Electric for 19 years, told Mom, "I think I can make a living doing this." Went to the bank, borrowed more money than he'd ever seen in his life, built a building out on US 40.